crop rotation method. That is crop rotation. Okay, so that we will quickly discuss how crop rotation is done and how crop rotation helps to replenish the lost nutrition of the soil. All right, guys. Okay, now before we move on, few things I need to clarify. Like, do you guys are having holidays in your school right now? Yeah.
Sir, I have taken
Sir.
TC right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes,
I
Okay,
sir.
think
For
so
me,
there
it's
is summer
vacation right
holidays.
now.
Yes,
okay,
there is. Usually this time only the school will give holidays.
yeah,
Yes,
usually
sir.
this time it's summer vacation.
I
Yes,
think
Vigo.
July to was something 2 months like that.
Yeah, in some schools it's for 1 month, for one and in some school it's 1.5 months. Vigo, what about you? It's summer
Yes, sir.
vacation now.
Yeah, it's summer vacation for 2 months.
Okay, okay. So for 2 months, okay, that's a long time. Okay, so before summer vacation, which chapter was going on currently in your school? Before the vacation, which chapter was completed in your school last in science?
Nutrition in animals, sir.
Nutrition in animals that have been completed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And for your summer vacations, have you received any homeworks, any assignments from your school?
Yes,
Okay, what
Yes,
are
sir.
but
those
I
They
have
assignments?
taken TC, right? Sir, I have taken TC, then how would I have?
No, no, actually, I'm asking to Vigas on this. Okay. I know you have taken TC. That's obvious you won't be having any assignments from your school for vacation. Okay. So, Viga,
Yes,
have you received any assignments from your school for the
Yes, sir.
holiday? Yeah, what are
Yes,
they?
sir. So 1 minute, like, can I check it?
Yeah, yeah, sure, check it. Okay. Okay, and I received your assignments on this. And what about Viga? I haven't received your assignments. I checked your assignments on this. Very good. Okay, your answers are correct, and the way you have answered is pretty good. Okay. Okay, while you are checking Viga, let's continue. Okay, so plants basically absorb minerals, nutrients from the soil in order to make their own food for other important processes. Like apart from photosynthesis, preparing the food for all of the life forms on Earth, plants also have got different functions to do, right? Plants also does transpiration. Plants also require energy for a growth, right? So plants take in mineral from soil to for what purposes? First is to be able to perform photosynthesis, right? Next is for growth and repair of damaged cells. Okay, so for these purpose, plants also requires minerals and nutrition from the soil. Okay, so that's why soil has to be enriched regularly with nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. There are other nutrients as well. Apart from nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, plants requires calciums. Okay, plants require irons, etc. These are also required by the plants so that they can keep on growing. So in total, how many nutrients are required by plants? There are 17 major nutrients required for plants. All right. Out of these 17 major nutrients required by the plants, there are 6 nutrients which are required in more quantity. So hence, we call them as macronutrients. Remember the words macro and micro. Macro means larger, micro means smaller. So those nutrients which are required in larger quantity, there are 6 of them. Out of 6, 3 of them are very much important, and they are namely nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Okay, guys. And the rest 11 nutrients which are required in smaller quantity are called as micronutrients. Okay. Now moving on. As we know, fertilizers and manures are added to provide nutrient to the soil. Okay. Now, as I told you about crop rotation, look, why crop rotation is considered a very better practice for a healthy soil. Look, if we guys keep on adding fertilizers in the field, what are the harmful impacts of continuous addition of fertilizers in the soil? Sundus, first you tell me, and then Vaiga you will answer.
It
Yeah.
will, I think so it will be very crowded and it will be like very hard for the roots to absorb the waters. Yeah.
Sundus, please repeat and please come closer to mic.
So can you
I was
repeat your
Yeah.
unable.
question?
My question is, if we keep on adding fertilizers season after season, month after month, months after months, if we keep on adding fertilizers in the soil, what are the harmful impacts of this practice? Okay, so first Sundus, you answer, then Vaika.
Um, I think it will be very like it will be very much nutritions will like be crowded over there, yeah. And it will
No,
be like hard to do it. Yeah.
no, but that is not a satisfactory answer, Sundus. Okay, so I will explain it. Vaiga, now you tell me.
So I guess the soil will be like um uh, spoiled or something.
Okay, look, in the chapter, you guys must have studied about humus, I guess. Humus, you guys have studied about this? Humus. In the soil, there are so many living organisms living, right? What are they? You see, earthworm. There are very tiny, small insects, worms, and dead, decaying matter. Dead, decaying matter, basically plants plus animals. Plants plus animals. So, if you were to take a handful of soil or just observe the soil in your garden, okay, you will observe, you might find earthworm in it if the soil is like moist, not too dry. You might found earthworms in it, especially in the rainy season. You might also find out some insects, some worms, and some bacteria also. Some micro microorganisms also can be found in a soil. If you look the soil under a microscope, you will find certain microorganisms in it. So these components are basically called humus. This earthworm, small insects, worms, microorganisms, these are called humus, and they enriches the soil fertility. They increases the soil fertility. So humus, it increases the soil fertility. All right, guys. So it is very important for the soil's health, right, guys? Now the question arises, how is it helpful for the soil? We will come to our basic discussion that what are the harmful impacts of addition of fertilizers. First, we need to have a background of it. Then we will come to the question. All right. So why humus is important for soil? See this earthworm. Earthworms are called farmer's friend. Do you guys know this?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is it so?
Yes, sir.
Because it keeps the soil moisturized. That why. Yeah. And it helps farmers moisturize the soil. That's
Okay. Okay. That can be taken as one reason. And Vaiga, what about you? What do you think?
Like mm, they keep the like soil fert like fertilized.
Okay, look, here's the main reason. If you were to look at this ground here, these are the soil particles. Okay, these are soil particles. See, and the earthworms, no, they make spaces in the soil to move across. They basically live inside the soil So while the earthworms will move in the under the soil, they will create holes, right? This is an earthworm. So while this earthworm is moving under the soil, it is obvious it will create some hole, some spaces between the soil particles. So via that hole, what will happen? You see, there are now holes under the soil, right, guys? And let's say this is your plant over here. These are the plants. These are its roots here. So this is a hole here. Now, what will happen? Via this hole, air and water will enter the soil. Why this hole? Air and water will enter the soil. These air and water will reach the roots of the plant. This is a plant and it is its roots here. It will reach the roots and it will help the plant to grow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That is the reason earthworms are called farmer's friend. Okay. Now, these small insects, worms, and dead digging matters, these small insect and worms, when they die, the nutrition present in their body, it is transferred to the soil, right? We all are made up of different types of nutrients. Our body consists of different types of minerals, right, guys? Our
Yes,
body
sir.
consists of different types of minerals. Can you guys name some of them?
Carbohydrates,
Yeah,
iron,
Carbohydrate,
iron.
protein,
iron with
Hmm.
fat.
carbohydrate.
No, we are talking about only
Uh,
minerals.
yeah, yeah.
Carbohydrates or those are not part of minerals. Look, in small amounts,
Potassium,
potassium, yeah, calcium,
iron.
Calcium.
iron, yeah, good guys. So these are the nutrients, these are the minerals present in our body. And these kind of minerals are also present inside the bodies of insects, worms also. Okay, and it is present in dead decaying matter also. So these nutrients will get transferred to the soil. So hence humus, we can conclude that it is increasing the soil fertility because ultimately with the help of earthworms, air and water is reaching the root and minerals from the dead and decaying organisms reaches the soil. Hence humus is important for soil. But what happens if we keep on adding fertilizers? Fertilizers are made from chemicals, inorganic substances. So if you keep on adding fertilizers, the fertilizers will kill the earthworm. It will kill the small insects living in it. It will kill the worms and all other life forms in it. Right, guys? That is the reason why we develop crop rotation method. So look what happens in crop rotation. Okay. So for season one, in a particular season, like crops have also got different seasons. We can grow certain crop in a certain season only, right, guys? In summer, different crops are planted. In winter, different crops are planted. We have got kharif and rabi crops, right? So see, in season one, you are planting crop A, right? Now, this crop will utilize, it will utilize the nitrogen from soil. Okay. Now, come to season two here. In the next season, you are planting a crop B. But the special thing about this crop B is that it is a leguminous plant. It is a leguminous plant here. So see, this is a leguminous plant here, and there are bulb-like structures attached on their roots. See these structures over here. Okay, guys. And these structures which are present on their roots, which are looking like bulb-like here, they are actually called nodules. Okay. And inside the nodules lives a nitrogen fixing bacteria that we call as what? Rhizobium bacteria. Okay. Now what happens when you grow a leguminous plant in the another season? the bacteria, that is rhizobium bacteria, will fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. So what happened? The nitrogen which was utilized by crop A in the first season, now that nitrogen is being replenished by the leguminous plant in season 2. Sundus and Vaiga, did you guys got it so far? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Is that clear? Is Vaiga here or not?
But I didn't understand the bacteria one.
Okay, look, the bacteria, I will tell you about it. Okay, I guess this issue. Okay, Vaiga just left, no? Yes, she might be having some network issues. Okay, Sundus, look here. What happens now? This bacteria that lives inside these nodules, it is called rhizobium bacteria. Now, this rhizobium bacteria can fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere into the soil. Okay, rhizobium bacteria, it can fix the atmospheric nitrogen in soil. Okay, so that is the special thing about this bacteria, right? So the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere in gaseous form, now this rhizobium bacteria that lives in the roots of leguminous plants, it will fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. Getting it?
Yes. So
Yeah.
in one
So,
code also that you can bring nitrogen in the soil by two ways. By first way is by reservation and the second is now.
yeah, first way is by planting leguminous plants, and another way is by lightning as well. That happens naturally. So this rhizobium bacteria now will fix nitrogen into the soil. Hence, the nitrogen which was utilized by the crop A in first season, now it is being replenished by the crop B in season 2. That is simply called as crop rotation. Right, guys? You're rotating, you're growing crops in rotation in alternate season.
So
Okay,
you will take out the crop A and then it will crop B.
we can take crop A and yes, Sundar, you were saying something. Please repeat.
I was saying that we will take out the crop A and then we will then
Yeah,
the crop B.
yeah, they are grown in alternate season. Now, in season 3, in season 3, we can grow a crop C, which can be a non-leguminous plant. Non-leguminous plant. Why? Because this bacteria fixed nitrogen already. It already fixed nitrogen in the soil. Hence, the nitrogen in the soil has been restored. So for season 3, you can grow a non-leguminous crop on the same piece of land. So here we are growing different crops in rotation, guys. Okay. So first you grow a crop A, that is also a non-leguminous. Okay. So this non-leguminous plant, it will use the nitrogen from the soil. Then you plant a leguminous plant that will replenish the nitrogen in the soil. Then again, you can plant a non-leguminous plant that will use the nitrogen which was fixed into the soil by the previous plant. I hope there's no confusion, or if there's any, I will explain.
No, sir.
That is clear, no? Vaiga, to you?
Sir, can you explain one more time? Like I just got disconnected.
Yeah, sure. Look, in first season, we are growing a non-leguminous plant, right? So this non-leguminous plant will utilize the nitrogen from the soil. All right. Then in season 2, we are growing a leguminous plant, and we know they have got bacteria. Which bacteria? Rhizobium bacteria. Okay, they have got rhizobium bacteria in it. So this rhizobium bacteria, we know it can fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. Okay. Now, what will happen? For season 3, we can grow a non-leguminous plant here, right? We are not growing a leguminous plant in season 3. Why? Because crop B, which we grow in season 2, was a leguminous plant, and the nitrogen content has been restored in the soil. The nitrogen has been replenished in the soil. So the crop C can utilize that nitrogen. So hence we are not growing different crops in rotation here. In season 1, we are growing a non-leguminous crop, then leguminous crop, then non-leguminous crop, and so on. That is called as practice of crop rotation. Hope that's clear now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good then. Okay, so the chapter is completed. We actually covered the chapter in previous class. Actually, one topic was left, right? Okay, so see these questions. These questions will be your assignment, and we will move on to next chapter today. Okay, are you guys okay if we start the next chapter?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, sure. Okay, so the next chapter, as per your syllabus, it's nutrition in animal, guys. It is what? Nutrition in animals. Okay, so Sundus, this will be your this chapter you haven't done yourself, but Vaika, this chapter has been done in your school, as you told me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is it okay for you, like if we continue with the same chapter in the batch, or will it be like a problem? I mean, you will get to
No, sir. Like, continue.
it will be okay. Like you will also get to
Yes, sir.
revise whatever you have studied in
Yes,
your
sir.
school. Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
then
sir.
it's fine, perfectly fine. So the next chapter is nutrition in animals, right? That is nutrition in animals. So we know plants are autotrophs; they can synthesize their own food, but all the animals are heterotrophic in nature. They cannot synthesize their own food. Hence, they have to depend upon different sources of food, right? So they will obtain their food from other animals or from plants, right? So what do we mean by animal nutrition then? So it is simply the process of taking a food or process of taking in food by an animal and its utilization in their body. That is simply called as animal nutrition. Okay. So it is simply the process of intake of food by animals and its utilization in the body. So whatever nutrition, whatever food the animal is taking in their body, it goes through certain steps as well, right? The first step, that is basically eating the food, it is called as ingestion, meaning taking in the food. Okay, so different animals eat food in different ways. Some of the animals engulf the whole animal. Like take example of alligators. Do alligators have to cut animals into pieces and then eat it, guys? No, I guess I'm audible to you guys. Yeah. Yes.
Sir,
No.
what? I didn't hear you.
Okay. So I was saying that animal nutrition, I explained that. You guys hear that, no? Okay. So different animals, you see, they take in food by different methods, right, guys? Some of the animals
Yes, sir.
engulf the whole food, while some of the animal uh, makes tiny pieces of their food, then eat it. For example, an alligator or a reptile like a lizard or a snake or a frog, they will engulf the whole animal. Okay. While some other animals like a monkey or a chimpanzee or we humans, we will bite pieces of food, then we will engulf it. Okay. So the food which we basically take in our body, especially the humans, it will go through certain steps. Okay. So the first step, I think, is there any need to write the definition of animal nutrition? I guess you guys can explain it now. Why I explain animal nutrition?
Okay, so like
Yeah, the process of
the process of taking in nutrition and utilizing it.
hmm, for various purposes, that is called animal nutrition. The process of taking in food by an animal and its utilization in their body to carry out different life functions. Different life functions is called animal nutrition. Okay, so the animals, they are basically heterotrophic in nature. Okay, hetero we basically know it's mean other, and trophic means basically nourishment. Okay, so the others on which they depend are basically categorized as plants and animals. So if you especially talk about humans, humans will basically consume which type of animals? They will basically consume herbivorous and omnivorous only. Humans are not known to consume carnivorous animals generally. Although in some parts, in Nepal, you will see people consume meat of snake as a street food. Do you guys know this?
In China also.
In China as
Yes.
well. Yeah, they eat bats. They eat so many different types of animals, whatnot. Okay, so these are general sources of nutrition for the animals. Okay, now the food which we are taking in our body, it goes through several steps. The first step itself, that is the food which the intake of food, it is called as ingestion, right? Then the food is digested, that is called as digestion. And then after digestion, whatever energy is present in the food, it is absorbed by the cells, that is called as absorption, isn't it, guys? Then whatever energy is being absorbed by our body, it is being distributed to several parts of our body. Like each and every part of our body requires nourishment to grow, right? So next, after assimilation, the food is distributed. Basically, the energy from food is distributed to different parts of our body. That is called as assimilation. We are going to cover each of the steps in detail, so don't worry about that. Then finally, the food which has been completely absorbed, uh, all the content from the food has been absorbed now. It is of no use for the body. If it remains in the body for a long period of time, it will become into a toxic material. So hence it needs to be removed from the body either in solid or in liquid form. So finally, the last step is excretion, right? So these are the basically the steps of nutrition that takes place in humans. These are the steps of nutrition in animals. Okay. Any confusion so far?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
No.
different animals takes food via different methods. Okay. See a butterfly and see a alligator. What is the difference in their method of ingestion? Ingestion meaning
Okay,
intake of food.
yeah, the what you call crocodile eat it in a whole in one bite, and
Okay.
the butterfly will cut it into pieces, and I think so it will eat like that.
Okay. Look, one major difference between the two is that alligators have got sharp teeth by which they engulf the food and crush it. While a butterfly, it using its mouth, it basically sucks the nectar out of flowers. So one is basically engulfing and biting the food, while butterfly is sucking its food. Yeah, it has got a long feeding tube. So if you see a butterfly here. Let me draw a butterfly. Okay, so if you that looks like a butterfly, I guess. See, this is a butterfly. It has got a long feeding tube. Okay, and via this long feeding tube, it sucks the nectar out of the flower. Right. Similarly, we humans have got teeth to bite and chew the food. So different animals have some special structures or organs to take their food inside their body. Right, guys? So see, there are some names of animals here and kind of food which they consume and what is the mode of feeding in them. Are they chewing the food? Are they swallowing directly or are they suckling it? Suckling basically means suck here. That is this. What is this? What this butterfly does? It sucks the nectar out of flower. Okay. Now let's move ahead to digestion in humans. Right. Okay. Before that, a few more interesting animals are there. Look, apart from the list, you have got a starfish as well. Okay. Any idea how a starfish takes in food? It's a sea animal. Yes, Vaiga and
I
Sundar,
think
do you
it
guys have
poison
any idea?
it and then eat it. I think it's then like poison it and then eat it, I guess.
Okay. No, it does not poison it. Okay. It uses its enzyme to digest the body of the animal, but it does not poison it. Like the mode of intake of the food, we are talking about it. Like whether it chews the food, whether it sucks its food. How, Vaiga? What do you think?
I guess
I
it
think
sucks.
it's
I
Okay,
think it sucks.
it sucks. Okay. Sundar, you were saying something?
swallowing. I think it will swallow.
Okay, look, it has not got a very interesting way of eating its food. Generally, it eats what? It will generally consume what?
Small
Shellfish,
fishes.
yeah, small fishes. It consumes shellfish. It also eats oysters. Yeah, you guys know oysters. Okay, so look, what it will basically do now. The starfish, when they are feeding upon these foods, upon these types of foods, it will take out its stomach from its mouth. See, this is how a starfish looks like. Yeah, and this is its mouth. This is mouth of a starfish. Now look, the starfish will bring out its stomach from its mouth, then they will surround their stomach over the soft body of their prey. Okay, now the soft they will surround their stomach over the soft body of the prey, and their stomach will release certain types of enzymes, certain types of juices from their body. Okay, and it will basically start to swallow the whole animal. Are you guys getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It takes out stomach out of its mouth and then surrounds the stomach around soft body of its prey. So it's and then what it will do? It will slowly start to engulf that animal, right?
And it
Okay.
will release some kind of gas or juice.
Yeah, it will release digestive juices to digest the body of the animal. Okay. So similarly, if you see other animals like alligator, or if you see frogs or snakes, how do they digest the whole animal? their body secretes is different types of juices. Okay, not the juice which we drink. These are different types of juices that starts to digest the whole body of the animal which they eat. Right. Okay. So it
Yes.
takes out stomach out of mouth, surrounds the stomach over the prey, and then brings back the whole prey and its mouth back to their body, back inside their body. All right, guys. Now let's continue with the processes of nutrition in animals. So the basic, so the very first process of nutrition in animals, it starts from digestion. After humans have ingested its food, now comes digestion. Okay. So you see, the food that we eat, it passes through a canal-like system in our body. Okay. What is this canal? This thing here. You see, this is our mouth here. We take in food and it passes through this canal-like structure. What do we call that? Any idea?
Alimentary canal or food pipe?
No, alimentary canal and food pipe are different things here.
Like it's like a food pipe.
This structure over here, which is up to stomach only, is starting from our mouth and reaching up to our stomach here only. That part is called esophagus. Here it's written esophagus, or the another name it's called as food pipe as well. So whatever food we guys are eating and the canal, the pipe via which it reaches our stomach, that is called as food pipe. But food does not stop there now. It goes all the way up to the exit point of human body. It goes all the way up to anus, right? Okay. So the canal basically which we are concerned with here, it is continuing from our mouth till the anus, from where it is released as solid waste. So that canal is called as alimentary canal, or also called as digestive tract. Okay. So one question for you guys: why alimentary canal is also called as digestive tract? Yes, Vaiga? Yes.
So can you repeat the question one more time? Like I didn't understand.
Okay, look. My question is why alimentary canal is also called as digestive tract?
Like it's a process. So it's called digestive tract.
No, look, we are not concerned with process here. We have not even started discussion about process. We are only talking about a canal like a pipe like a structure here. Sundus, any idea?
I think the waste that goes, that's why it's called digestive tract.
No,
I
no,
don't.
no. Look, digestion means what? Basically, the food which we are eating, breaking down of that food and taking energy from that food and absorbing it. That is simply the process of digestion. You're basically, first you see the food which you are taking it in your mouth, you basically chew it, you grind it, and then it goes to your stomach, and then in your stomach it is grinded, and then it goes to our intestines. There also so many juices acts upon the food. Whatever water is present in the food, it is absorbed by the intestines. Whatever nutrition is present in the soil, it is absorbed by the intestines. So you see, all these processes happening in this alimentary canal only. All the process of digestion is happening in the alimentary canal only. That is the reason we call it as digestive tract also. Okay, look here. This alimentary canal is divided into different parts. Starting from our mouth, the next part of it is the food pipe, whose another name is also esophagus, pronounced as esophagus. Then stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. So all these are parts of the alimentary canal, and whatever happens to our food, it has to happen in these parts only. Okay. Any confusion so far?
No.
Okay. Sundas, got this now?
Yes.
Right. So remember the parts of the alimentary canal, that is very important. Okay, so there are 6 parts of alimentary canal is divided into 6 parts, right? Okay, so first thing first, the food in our body, it will first reach our mouth, that is also called as buccal cavity here. If you guys see, not here, look, first the food will reach into the mouth, or also called as buccal cavity, right? So that, so if question is asked to you, where does the process of digestion begin from in human body, your answer will be mouth. All right, guys. So in mouth, the digestion, the process of digestion starts. So in mouth, what happens? We are breaking down the food physically and chemically here. Look, breakdown of food takes place physically and chemically. Okay, so Sundus, you tell me how we are breaking down food physically in our mouth.
By chewing it.
By
Like,
chewing it. Okay, good. Yeah, that's the answer. And Sundus, how we are breaking it chemically, and Vaiga, how we are breaking it chemically?
By chewing it.
Not, no, that's the physical press. That is physical. That's the physical method of breaking it. But how we are breaking it chemically?
Through the saliva, like
Through the saliva. Good. Look, in the previous chapter, I told you the food which we are eating, it is made up of complex carbohydrates. Remember the process of photosynthesis? To take in carbon dioxide, you take water in the presence of light, you get complex type of carbohydrates. It was C6H12O6 plus oxygen was also released. So this is the complex carbohydrate, guys. Okay, do you guys remember I told you that carbohydrates are what? Carbohydrates are basically combination of carbon dioxide and water here. All right, guys.
eh,
I hope you guys are not getting confused.
no, no.
Okay, because when in discussion, I try to make the core concepts clear. All right, guys. Then you guys will be able to relate. So what happens in the chemical process? The complex carbohydrate, it breaks down. The breakdown of complex carbohydrate happens. And this one, carbohydrates are broken down via the saliva. So this saliva, which is secreted in our mouth, the liquid watery substance secreted in our mouth, that helps to break down the complex carbohydrate of present in the food, right? So that complex carbohydrate is broken down into what? It is broken down into simple sugar called glucose. So let's understand this here. Physical, it is the biting and chewing. Okay, there's not enough space here, so I'm writing in small text here. So look what happens in the chemical process. Chemically, the food is breaking down like this. The complex carbohydrate is being converted into simple sugar called as glucose. Simple sugar called as glucose. So far, everything's clear to both of you. Huh?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, some of the food which we are eating, it consists of fats also, like the junk food which you guys must be eating, huh? Junk foods consist of so much of oil in it. Yeah, some of the food consists of starch in it. So those types of foods which consist of oil in it, okay, like the oily foods. So the oil in that type of food, it's only two zeros here, on two O's here. So oil present in the oily foods will be converted into glycerol. All right, guys. So far, just remember these two things here. That complex carbohydrate is converted into simple sugars called glucose, and the oily foods and the oil present in the oily foods is converted into glycerol. Yeah. Okay. Sundar, do tell me what did I just told you guys here? Yeah, Sundar.
What, sir? Sorry.
Okay. Just do tell
What was
me.
the question?
My question is that in the chemical breakdown of the food, how complex carbohydrates and oils are broken down?
Carbohydrate and
Hmm. How
carbohydrate.
carbohydrates and oily foods are broken down?
Oh,
If you see over here, you can see from here. As I by arrow mark, I have shown here that complex carbohydrates are broken into simple sugars that are called as glucose. And oil present in the oily foods, it is converted into glycerol. So this conversion takes place in the mouth itself only. Right, Vigans, on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there's any confusion, I will repeat again. Everything's clear to both of you? Then we will move ahead. Yeah?
oh, sorry. You're talking about chemical. I
Yeah, I
thought
was talking
like
about the
why it is
chemical.
in the mouth, why it was not going down.
No, I
Confused.
was talking about what happens basically in the chemical breakdown. Okay. Now, moving on, the food will pass on into our food pipe, right? So then it will reach your stomach, right? So apart from the parts of the alimentary canal, which you guys see here, these are mouth, food pipe, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. There are some smaller organs that secretes different types of juices in the alimentary canal. Okay, so those are called as glands. GLANDS. Those are called as glands. Okay. So there are three glands associated with the alimentary canal that secretes digestive juices, and those digestive juices are used to convert the complex food substances into simpler substances. Like in your mouth, in the mouth, okay, let's say these are mouth, this is a mouth, these are the teeth, okay, and there are salivary glands in the mouth. The first gland is a salivary gland that secreted what? Salivary gland secretes saliva. What is it? The watery liquid. So whenever you see a very tasty food, your mouth waters. That is because of the saliva. So this is a type of gland which secretes saliva. And remember, this saliva was helping in conversion of complex carbohydrate into simple glucose, basically into simple substances. And complex, another type of complex substance, that is oil, into simpler substances, that is glycerol. Yes, guys? Yes? Yes, no, anything? Is it clear?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So basically the
Yes.
glands present in our body, it basically helps to convert the complex type of substances present in our food into simple substances. That is what their function is basically. Similarly, you have two more types of glands. That is, one is liver, one is pancreas. Okay, and the third one I already told you, that is salivary glands. So see their positions in the body. Salivary gland is present in our mouth. Okay, that is also buccal cavity, whether we say mouth or buccal cavity. So here is the salivary gland. That is the first gland. Then see the second gland, the liver. Okay, in fact, it is the biggest gland in our body. So liver is the second gland. Okay, and the third gland.
Liver is a salivary gland.
No,
It's a
liver is
gland.
the biggest gland. It's a gland. Liver, it's the biggest gland in our body. All right,
So
and
the
then you have,
smallest gland in the our body is mouth.
it is,
Mouth.
no, mouth is not a gland. No, mouth is basically a structure. Gland and a mouth, those are two different things. The glands are present in the inner walls of our mouth. Okay, and they secrete saliva. They secrete different types of uh, uh, enzymes. For example, one of the gland which is present in our mouth is salivary gland, which you just saw here. Then you have different type of another type of gland called as liver, right, guys? And then you have another type of gland called as pancreas, right? You have pancreas here. See the first one, second one, and third one. So all these three glands secretes different type of digestive juices, which basically converts the complex food into simple food. Okay, so that's it for today. We will stop our discussion here. Any confusion so far in related to whatever we have discussed in the class today?
Yes.
No, sir.
Sir, the assignment that you told test book, that we have to do in textbook or notebook? Because you already gave the assignment we have to do in notebook.
Okay, look,
Last,
as per your convenience. Okay, you guys can do it anyway as per your convenience. Okay.
I don't have textbook, sir.
Okay, so just use the normal copies, normal copy. Okay.
No, actually, that assignment you have given like last assignment.
Yeah.
Then should I do it one more time?
No, why should you be doing it one more time? You have already done that, no? You have sent it to me.
Yes.
Okay, then there's no need to do it again. All right, and Vaiga, I haven't received your assignment here. Send it to me. Okay.
Okay, sir. Like I'll upload it right now.
Okay, right. Upload it right now. Okay,
Okay.
then that's it for today, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're
You,
most
sir.
welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, Simon. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm sir, I'm good.
Okay, so we will just begin in a minute. Let me just have some water, and then we will begin. Okay.